Foo Fighters walk on Saturday morning. Josh Widdicombe, Foo Fighters, producer Neil are not headlining Glastonbury.
They're not, no.
It's Metallica.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
If they do the Black Album, yes. If they do St. Anger, no.
That'd be a curveball, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
But so how are you? How's your week been?
My week's been good. After the show last week, I had delivery of a shed. And I built it on a bank holiday because I'm a man.
That's a classic. That's a stereotypical man thing to do. So what happened?
Well, it came flat packed, and then I got some friends round.
Oh yeah, shed party.
We had some beers and built a shed.
Did you have beers?
Yeah.
That's probably health and safety nightmare, isn't it? On the health and safety thing, I went into a restaurant this week. I didn't know, and that now you know it. This is going to ruin a lot of people's lives. Me telling you, they have a rating on their cleanliness and health and safety that they have to display.
Mm-hmm.
I went in Indian with a 1 star.
Ooh.
I just had 16 poppadoms. I didn't. I went for it. I thought, go for it. But I presume if you're on a 1 star, they should have closed you down.
No, it just means you've got room for improvement.
Well, loads of room for improvement. Get rid of the rats. Maybe this is one for any other business next week, but how bad is 1 star health and cleanliness or whatever it is?
I don't know.
AOB next week. But it panicked me. Anyway, your shed, which is probably 1 star health and safety. Did you have to apply for planning permission?
No, it's 5x4. Imagine a festival Portaloo and then a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Because we've got a very small back.
It'd be good if it was 5x4 inches. Use it to practice your putting with golf.
But no, health and safety, I was convinced it stayed up all week, and then coming into work this morning, my wife just texted me to say one of the windows has fallen out.
Oh God. Glass?
No, Perspex. Couldn't afford glass.
Couldn't afford glass. So what are you going to do in your shed?
Keep stuff in it. Paint. A chimney.
What's that?
It's kind of just an outdoor heater that it's an excuse to burn stuff.
So are you going to hang in your shed?
I might do.
I've got a friend called Mike Bubbins, and he's got a shed called Bubba's Bar and Grill, or Bubba's Bar and Grill, where he's got karaoke, he's got a full bar, he's got a TV, he's covered in Elvis memorabilia. It's genuinely the greatest shed in the world. There's one for next week. What's the best shed you've been in?
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Lump by the Presidents of the USA. I mean, of course, that's what you should be playing on XFM on a Saturday morning. More of that, Neil.
Was that on Shine 7, I think I had that on?
Was that on Shine 7? Were you a Shine or a best album in the world ever kind of guy?
Shine.
Purist.
Great compilation CD.
I did a DJ set at my brother's comedy festival on Saturday, me and him. Do you want to know the opening 2 tracks we dropped?
I think it would have been Regulate.
Followed by
On a Ragga Tip.
How do you know this?
I saw on Twitter.
So good. So good. If only that fitted in with XFM's playlist of, what was it? Indie rock and electro where applicable.
Yes. Yes.
Indie rock and old school hip hop where applicable.
Maybe you can do a co-host with Eddie Temple Morris on the remix on a Friday night.
Yeah, maybe, because I'm not working hard enough for this station. On that, I am doing the London Breakfast Show next week, so if you want to listen in, if you're listening to this on podcast, during the week, then I'm still doing it. Right. Any other business? Reader's right to reply. Do you uphold it? Do you reject it? Do you have the bells?
Oh, they're outside.
So you're going to have to do your own bell sound.
Okay.
So, Brett, do you want to just give a précis of what we're doing here? People are being pernickety.
Mm-hmm.
We want them to be as pedantic as possible, pick us up on our mistakes. And Neil, he always upholds them. He never rejects them. If you get rejected by Neil, you've done something bad. Josh, when I was growing up in Devon, a bloke in my hometown was convicted for stealing pebbles from the beach of Budleigh Salterton. Just to be clear, this is on the subject. Last week I said I don't think it was true that you weren't legally allowed to steal from a beach. The pebbles are apparently protected by the 1949 Coastal Protection Act. After the theft, the mayor blamed Alan Titchmoss and Charlie Dimmock. Regards, Sean. A couple of things. The 1949 Coastal Protection Act. Is that really the kind of thing we needed to be doing when we're trying to get ourselves back on the feet after the Second World War, just 4 years later?
Well, I mean, they'd spent, 5-6 years protecting the coast as it was.
But shouldn't we have been stealing the pebbles to bring the coast in, to kind of protect ourselves?
Very true.
Why do you think the mayor blamed Alan Titchmoss and Charlie Dimmock for stealing the pebbles? Presumably because of ground force.
I imagine because of ground force and kind of maybe the gardens that were popular at the time, or techniques.
But they never said okay to stealing, did they?
No, but people maybe just thought, oh, where can I get this cheap, pebbly look from? The beach.
You've written here this point is also backed up by Jane from Dublin.
Yeah,
presumably not the same.
Not the same beach.
Not the same case.
Not the same case, but yeah, she had another fact about a beach in Ireland also.
But it doesn't count because it's in Ireland, so it doesn't apply to UK beaches.
Anyway, ding. This is getting upheld.
Okay. Dear Josh and producer Neil. Josh, on a recent show, you relayed seeing a wedding shop named White Lace and Promises, which you joked sounds like an insult from a soap opera. Correct. It was an amusing moment we all enjoyed. Now, I like that. When they're about to take you down a peg or two. In any other business, we want more paragraphs at the start. Now, comma. Now. While the Carpenters don't exactly fit the XFM remit of indie rock and electro where appropriate, I still think it's important to mention as a footnote that their song We've Only Just Begun was the original source of the line White Lace and Promises. Best wishes, L. Murphy.
Okay.
I understand L. Murphy's point, but I would say that the fact it's lyrics to a Carpenters song doesn't make it a good name for a wedding shop. Now, I've got the lyrics here to We've Only Just Begun. That's how it goes. We've only just begun to live. White Lace and Promises. A kiss for luck, and we're on our way. We've just begun. I mean, none of these would be relevant shop names. If you were to call your shop Sharing Horizons That Are New to Us.
Bit of travel agents.
So I'll go through the song. You've got to name which shop they are. Okay. Before the rising sun we fly.
A Japanese restaurant.
Very good. So many roads to choose.
A driving school.
We start out, this is the best game I've ever played. We start out walking and learn to run.
A physiotherapists.
Oh, you're good at this. Watching the signs along the way.
Or just a signage shop. Maybe on an industrial estate.
Or a doctor, because you are meant to look for signs of certain illnesses.
That's true, yeah.
Talking it over, just the two of us.
Counsellors.
Yeah. Working together day to day.
Maybe like a job centre.
Job centre. And when the evening comes, we smile. Comedy club.
Okay.
So much of life ahead.
A
maternity ward. We'll find a place where there's room to grow.
Garden centre.
And yes, we've just begun. That was the funnest AOB of all time. Ding. Ding. I'll do my own ding for that one. Finally, Josh, this is from my dad. Just to let you know, and all your listeners know, Series 1 of Postman Pat has at last been released on DVD. I've been watching it over the last week, and I honestly don't think it's been improved over the last 30 years. It really is seriously good viewing, Dad.
Yeah, I guess so.
Looking after granddaughter. Okay. There we go. And that is Any Other Business. If you have any other business, Neil...
josh@xfm.co.uk.
To goodbye, Iron Range.
Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Two topics you want to talk about today. Number one, your worst sporting failure. I went to see Crystal Palace versus Liverpool this week. The theatre of sports, Neil.
Selhurst Park.
I mean, as a Plymouth fan, I was watching it. I mean, seeing such modern tragedy unfold. I mean, the following night I went to see I Can't Sing. It was a very similar... one of the best things I've ever seen, that. Two of the best things I've ever seen in my life in 2 nights. I was sat in I Can't Sing thinking, Crystal Palace Liverpool last night. This tonight. This really is 2014 to a T. Although I haven't been to the theatre before that. So, you know, it was just a lucky 2 days. Your worst sporting failure. Yours?
I found a picture, actually, the other day of me before my first ever game for my primary school football team. And in my first 2 games...
How old would you have been?
I don't know, 8? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, in my first 2 games for the primary school A team, scored an own goal in each game.
Oh!
Yeah.
Where were you playing?
Centre-back.
And how did you score them?
One was...
Can you remember them vividly?
One was a deflection off me, which I think was a little unlucky to go against me.
Was it going in anyway?
I would say so, yeah. But we didn't have the benefit of television replays.
Yeah, of course.
And the other...
how hard can kids kick that a deflected shot would go in?
Well, how rubbish is our goalkeeper? Yeah, I'm not going to name names, Tom. But...
Still in touch?
No. I think I defriended him quite a while ago on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then the second one I can't remember. I just remember holding my head in my hands, going, "Oh,
Did you?
this is how Jonathan Woodgate started at Real Madrid."
I mean, you wouldn't have had that reference at your disposal.
No, I wouldn't actually.
You'd have been thinking, I'm like a young Des Walker.
Yes.
Scored an own goal in the 1991 FA Cup final.
Yeah.
The game that ruined Paul Gascoigne's career.
Yes, it was.
Arguably. Another one I've had. Now, this is a more minor one. Well, this wasn't my failure, but on our sports day, they put... You know how the hurdles have two kind of 90-degree legs so that they can tip over one way? Someone put out the hurdles the wrong way. So if anyone jumped into them, they just wouldn't fall over and the person would be taken out.
Oh.
You very rarely got that with Colin Jackson and Tony Jarrett, did you?
No, you never did.
At the, Barcelona Olympics 92. Gone for quite two kind of child retro ones today. Ways you made money as a child.
I think I just did washing cars and stuff like that.
Just did washing cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did wash my grand's car. I hadn't thought about that. A Nissan Micra. She had the, the plastic fingers coming out the boot.
Did she?
Classic. Very difficult to wash around the fingers. Very difficult. Did you ever do, like, concerts for your parents, and then you charge them, like, 10p to get in, and you'd just be singing along to Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits?
No.
You want to get onto that, mate? It's a real good earner.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Producer Neil, obviously, in the midst of Neil Aid. If you don't know that, it's his appeal for Panini swaps that have been sent in. And you like to obviously shout out to the people that have sent you in their swaps for free.
Yeah, it's been very kind this week. There is Jess, who sent in stuff previously. She's got another farming card for us, which was nice.
A farming card? Oh, in a card.
In a card.
I was going to say that's not part of the World Cup.
No.
If anything, it's damaged the environment of Brazil. Am I right, guys? Come on.
A big good morning to Esme Follows, that's her name. Nick, the XFM intern, also gave me some swaps.
Did he?
Which was nice.
Trying to climb the greasy ladder.
I didn't want to say anything, but it's not going to help Nick. Ben in Plymouth, Dan Toley, but the best one was Mark T, who sent me some very good swaps that nearly made me complete Columbia. But the little note he wrote to me saying good luck was written on a Ladbrokes betting slip.
Amazing. The vision of him in Ladbrokes doing his stickers. Like a kind of child with a problem.
I mean, I was hoping he was in there putting a bet on England winning the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not sure about this. I was in Ladbrokes. I went in because I like to put bets on before the World Cup, top scorer, all the 8 group winners as a combination. Accumulator. That's exciting. And then, but I was in Ladbrokes before the 2006 World Cup, which we all thought we were going to win. And a man came in and placed £100 on England at 9-1. And I thought, that is the stupidest bet in the world, because if England win, that will be the prize in itself. So I don't like to think he was betting on England. But I do like to think he was in Ladbrokes, putting some money on the bloody Germans.
Well, thank you to all those people.
I actually quite want Germany to win. I quite like their team, quite like the way they play.
Well, thank you to everyone who has sent in swaps so far.
Yeah,
please keep coming.
Keep coming.
Stickers, Neil Aid, XFM, Leicester Square, WC287LA. Please, because I am getting excited.
Do you know how I remember that postcode? WC, toilet, 2H, a very hard pencil. What was the last bit?
7LA.
7LA. 7, the film Brad Pitt starred in with Morgan Freeman, and then Los Angeles. That's the way you remember it. So, toilet, hard pencil, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman in Los Angeles. It's the way to remember it.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.
XFM, Saturday morning, and now, he's back. He's not dead. He's Nish Kumar.
Good morning. Or is it?
Yes! Your phone went dead last week.
Yeah, my phone went dead. And I have to say...
Was it the Illuminati?
It was Australia. I was in Australia for a couple of weeks. We've actually been pre-recording the last few, which is a conspiracy in of itself.
Oh, did you hear Neil exhale? Radio was ruined. How do you feel about that, Neil?
All of his magic torn down.
It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Well, look, you can't spell Australian without the word alien. unless you want to spell it correctly. So I was keeping the magic of the conspiracy theories alive. Yeah, and the other thing is, after every one of these, I talk a lot of rubbish here, and at least 3 people will contact me on Twitter going, that was a brilliant one, Nish. The week that you say I've gone missing, absolute radio silence. Until yesterday, someone went, "Are you back on this week?" That was it. No concern from the listeners.
What did you make of my conspiracy about the moon landings?
I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I thought it was great, and I think it's also about time we covered one of the bigger ones. Yeah.
So we can do a major this week.
Well, that depends, Josh. We're doing a major in one sense, in that it's majorly insane. So this is
very nice.
This is a long lead up. I'm going to explain the whole thing in one sentence. Okay, so brace yourselves for this. The Chinese government funds thousands of citizens a year to immigrate to Western countries in order to drive slowly and delay us from getting to work on time, thus slowing down our economy.
Amazing. So they fund them to move over here to drive slowly.
To drive slowly. This is some left field racism.
So do they drive notoriously slowly?
No, because this is what
Chinese?
I mean. When I read this, I was thinking this isn't even a racial stereotype that I think about. Like, it's not like you hear people going, "Tell you what, those Chinese slow drivers." It's not even one of those. It's not even one of those historic ones. But I do like it. I think it's an interesting conspiracy angle.
So is there any evidence?
Absolutely none whatsoever.
Wow.
This is one that because normally we have somebody who's sort of thought it out in some way, or there's some reasoning behind it. This one has come straight out of the left field from one of the internet's great mavericks.
So there's nothing.
There's nothing. Absolutely no substantiation.
And do we know that there's a lot of Chinese?
It's basically part of a wider pattern of people thinking that China's trying to control the world.
Yeah.
It's basically one of the offshoots. Would you
not cause crashes?
Well, yeah, because you can get pulled over for going too slow, can't you?
So I don't understand. Like, so they'd come over here.
Yeah, so they'd come over here. They'd be funded by the government. Well, it's essentially like sending spies over to the country, only instead of sending secrets back. Yeah. It was because there was all sorts of plans during the World War II of the sort of disruption of the state. This one seems to be taking it to a new level. This is the Stuart Lee of international conspiracy, in that it's taking its time and baffling a few.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Neil, what are your views?
Well, there's no evidence. I mean, normally the evidence is pretty shaky, but there is no evidence, and therefore it's not going into Nishipedia.
Oh, do you think there's anyone at home who's because we always say whether it's gone in or out of Nishipedia. I wonder if there's any record of if it has gone in or out.
Almost certainly. There's going to be at least one person at home. Whoever you are, can you tweet us?
What is in and out of Nishipedia?
It'd be a long
otherwise,
tweet.
this book is going to be difficult for us to publish.
I think that this book's going to be difficult to publish for a number of reasons, Josh.
It is.
Legal reasons, mainly.
Fair, yeah, you are true. Well, it's good to have you back, Nish.
It's good to be back. Or is it?
Josh Widdicombe.
Vampire Weekend, Diane Young, the Josh Widdicombe Show, XFM on a Saturday morning. Now we are joined by a friend of the show. Yeah, there we go. Ivo Graham. Probably
most appearances by a non-regular.
Is that true?
I think it's true.
So who counts as a regular?
Obviously, I'm not trying to compete with the Acasters and Kumars of this world. I'm not an idiot.
No.
Or Crosby, or Lysa, anyone who's previously had a feature.
You think you've had the most guest appearances?
But I think for someone who's... You look at me, you don't think, let's get that guy in every week. You're not mad, but, every couple of months, he'll have something new to say. I think that's true.
So do you know what we've brought in since... Well, a couple of things since...
Oh, I know what you've brought in. I listen to podcasts every week on Monday evening. I love that. The first few appearances, I was trying to play it cool. I'm delighted to be here and to keep up my quite impressive record, particularly after telling quite an off-colour joke last time I was on the show, which I thought might have been the end.
That was the joke of the show.
Was that the joke of the show?
Yeah, in the eyes of the listeners, but not the lawyers. John Robbins. It was about Cox's apples. That's all I'll say.
And Ivo didn't see one coming towards his face.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And the apples was left out.
What would you normally be doing at this time on a Saturday morning then? Because you say you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I don't listen to the first couple of times you had the show, I tried to listen to it live, and it's when you know that there's a podcast on its way. No disrespect to people who are listening to it live in your traffic jams, but it must be very frustrating. But just wait till Monday. I'd probably just a bacon sandwich and Football Focus. Made a plan.
Now, you showed online anger that one of the... I tweeted that one of the topics for today was ways you made money as a child.
Right.
And you thought that me and Neil had come up with this to bait you.
No, and I didn't mean to get angry, thus to then provoke anything. I just don't have any interesting...
So your spin on it, because you're from a very kind of privileged background, is that fair?
Right, I didn't sign up to any of this. What about worst sporting nightmares, though, eh? I was bad at sport as a child.
Your spin on it could be, what did you pay other people to do?
No. Again, this is always the problem.
Did you have jobs as a child?
No, I went to boarding school from a very young age. Where there was no money. You couldn't. There was no money.
There's no money.
Well, you weren't allowed to have
like
money
prison.
It was all you traded in sweet rations. That was the main thing.
Is that true?
Yeah, we got sweet rations on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
What were you rationed?
You'd usually get. It was quite obvious. Not that I would have complained at the time. It was quite obvious that they came from multi-packs. So you get a chomp or a
You're
fudge
telling
or something.
me that half the kind of current British cabinet have eaten multi-packs that shouldn't have been sold separately while during their education.
Well, no. I'm not saying it was illegal. They're allowed to be distributed. So they weren't sold to us. However, I did use them to organise. Set up a sort of betting sort of syndicate with the football.
Were you the one that turned off the floodlights at Charlton Athletic? I mean, when you say betting syndicate, there was nothing.
I don't really know what a syndicate is. I've used that word.
No, but you didn't offer a Pakistani bowler extra.
Oh no,
to overstep at Lords.
No, I wasn't. Approaching Mauricio Taricco, asking him to misplace a pass. Because then I get an extra curly whirly. But you'd just to bet on the football results on the weekend, everyone would pool their rations, and you'd get 1 point for a correct outcome and 3 points for a correct score.
Great way to do it. I set up that exact same game when I worked at The Guardian on Saturdays.
Brilliant. And what was the prize there?
Everyone put in £2.
Oh God! We could only dream of those kind of sums. But we did. But I had to start it because no one really believed in the system at first. For the first few weeks, it was just to win my sweet ration, which was a sacrifice I was prepared to make for the long
to get
term.
Off the ground.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. A lovely kind of look into boarding school etiquette.
Yeah.
Should we have some embrace?
Yeah, absolutely, which is what we said at the end of the... No, it doesn't even really work.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Embrace on XFM. Josh Widdicombe. I'm joined by Ivo Graham.
Ivo Graham's delighted to be here.
And producer Neil.
Producer Neil says good morning.
Hello. Now, your worst sporting failure.
Oh, goodness.
As a performer.
As
opposed to a supporter.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I'm not. We don't have a long enough show to go through Swindon Town's. Many things I've witnessed there. I mean, I'm okay at sport, but not good enough.
You're quite good at football, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm all right at football, but I was quite small at school.
Do you think I've never played football with you,
right?
But I imagine because you play comedians football on a Tuesday, I always like to imagine that someone's approach to comedy is reflected in how they play the game. I like to imagine you as a kind of mercurial Matt Letizia figure who drifts in and out of the game and be bullied off the ball.
No, that's the coolest
brilliant
type of footballer. No, I'm just an irritating... Tim Key described me as a less good Thomas Muller, just running around constantly, just winding people up, which in comedian's equivalent would be just someone, just quite a sort of high-energy comic with not any material.
Let's not go into that. What did you go for, sorry, as your sporting failure?
When I was at the same prep school where I set up a sweet ration-based betting syndicate in the late 90s, I was also sub for the under-9 Bs. And I remember my dad came to watch a match.
What, pollinating flowers?
I mean, okay, fine for the under-9 As, just to rule out the choke. One of the rules at my school is you weren't allowed more than 9 Bs. And if anyone had more than 9 Bs, I would be brought in as a substitute beekeeper I'm actually quite a surreal comedian. Who knew it? But my dad came to watch the game and was quite annoyed that I was the sub. Not annoyed with the selectors, annoyed with me for not putting enough of work in over the course of the term. And he said he felt humiliated as a parent because I was forced to be the linesman, which means basically that you've got to stand on the touchline running the line, but with your dad with your dad walking alongside you, just sort of muttering quite belittling and cross things. Just running the bloody drive 15 miles to watch you be the linesman. in the biggest match of the season against Cot Hill, the local rivals.
Did you have any tough calls?
No, well, so this was the thing, and this is my dad tells this story with a mixture of sort of nostalgia and still genuine anger at most dinner parties. Was that with about 5 minutes ago we were drawing
Whether
games.
he's invited to the dinner party or not. Most dinner parties, he'll pop up, ring the doorbell with his story.
It's a classic, and he's in the 2 to 5k price range for corporate afternoon. But with about this was a big game against the local rivals Cot Hill, and with about 5 minutes to go, one of the guys. I got a line call wrong and had a bit of a talking to from the referee earlier. One of the guys the Cot Hill players ran the ball just over the line on one of the a tricky winger, and my dad said, "That's gone over the line, call it." And I was too nervous to call it. And it then led to a goal, the winning goal.
No! Did you get any dispute from the players?
It wasn't sort of doubted or disputed by them, but that was a sort of thing with my dad that I would say to Dad, please don't tell the other... He'd often use it as a threat that he'd tell the other players.
Let's, Ivo, consider, the water has passed under the bridge.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Ives main offender, which is how Ivo Graham was referred to when he was in charge of the bees at Eton.
Just got that. Brilliant. I don't know how... And this is a pre-selected playlist as well, so that's not even forced. It is great radio.
So, Ivo Graham, it now comes to Neil of Fortune, where producer Neil takes over to run one of his occasionally successful games.
That's an accurate description, yeah.
Yeah.
Ivo, your 3 games then. Game number 1
Yes.
is titled Ivo's Golden Grahams.
Lovely.
So it's not long since you've been a student, is that correct?
It's not correct. It is correct.
Can you identify the cereals from their advertising slogan?
Brilliant. Why are you suggesting that? What's it got to do with me not being as long since I've been a student?
Well, I remember when I was a student, all I lived on was cereal.
Yeah, my lifestyle hasn't changed an enormous deal.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Was that Weetabix with shreddies on top?
Oh, the double up!
Wow. Yeah.
2 quite bland cereals.
Oh! Did I put a bit of sugar on? Quite a hefty amount of sugar on top.
I don't like that. I see. My favourite cereal is probably just I like a cornflake with milk and no sugar.
Oh.
What about you now?
Weetabix, a little bit of sugar in the microwave.
Well, that's
Mashed up.
No, not hot. That's why I don't buy Frosties, Ricicles, or Frosted Shredders, because you can just have cornflakes, Rice Krispies, and normal Shreddies, and just control the sugar input yourself. Some days lots, some days none. Today, lots.
Okay.
You could have. I mean, you've done slogans now. Characters would have been a good one.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Ricicles.
He's an astronaut.
Yeah. Captain Rick.
Brilliant.
Good knowledge. But anyway, I have a list of 10 slogans.
Yes.
Can you identify the cereal by the slogan, but you have to do it in 1 minute.
Brilliant. It'll take 2 pretty good games to usurp this.
Okay. Second game is called Ivo, What You Did Last Summer.
These are just like rejected Edinburgh titles.
You seem like a worldly, well-educated man, Ivo.
Right.
So, can you tell me the summer and the year the following news events happened? I've got 3 in total.
Brilliant.
The summer and the year are the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mixed up.
It was 1997, but it was the summer of 1999.
And game number 3 is called...
Probably with global warming. Am I right?
A real issue that we should all be very worried about.
Game number 3 is called Alexander Graham Bell. Josh and I will play a selection of XFM hits on our bells, which are out in the office. Can you guess what the hits are? We'll play as many as we feel like until we're bored.
Right. I mean, these are all great games.
Well, I mean, not to push you, but we have been practicing on the bells.
Yeah, I'd rather do the bells after the show with me joining in. So I'm going to go for the cereal one because I want a really, really competitive game.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Ivo Graham is in the middle of a game of Neil of Fortune, and the game is Ivo Golden Grahams. Basically, you've got a minute. Neil's going to give you 10. Is it slogans?
Cereal slogans, yeah.
And you've got to come up with the killer. You don't have to get all 10, surely you have to get 7.
We'll just see how many you've got.
Yeah,
just
I'm
a
aiming
test.
for 9.
So, are you ready, Ivo?
Yes.
Here we go. They're great.
Frosties.
Correct. Snap, crackle, pop.
Rice Krispies.
Correct. It's ludicrously tasty.
Crunchy nut cornflakes.
Oh, you got good. That's tough.
Correct.
No, that's not that tough. That's
Happy
not tough.
breakfast, everyone.
That's tough. That's a tough question. That's what I say before I eat any cereal, so I've confused myself there. I don't know. We'll come back to it.
Okay, give these O's a go.
Cheerios.
Correct.
Oh!
Good morning.
What? Neil Fern. Every Saturday, 10 till 1.
Is that your answer?
But of course it's not my answer. You're not a cereal. You don't even eat proper cereal.
We'll move on. I'd rather have a bowl of...
Cocoa Pops.
Good.
You sung it!
Oh, no, I'm so embarrassed at that. Pavlov's dog.
Oh, it's so simple.
Shredded... No.
Shredded
No,
oats.
not shredded oats. I don't know, move on.
I'm chocolatey. I'm whole grain. I'm...
Chocolate Wheatos?
Correct. Don't tell them about the honey, money.
Honey Monster... Honey Loops.
No.
Honey Shreddies.
No.
I can't believe Keeps Hunger Locked Up wasn't even in there. That's Shreddies. For a bonus point I've awarded myself.
We'll give him that. We'll give him a bonus point.
Oh, no. Was that 6?
7.
Including the bonus, so there's 4 you've missed. God, that was tense with the
That's
sound.
quite hard. Happy breakfast, everyone.
Good morning was cornflakes.
How long did that meeting take at Cornflakes?
Well, I kind of think it's a kind of perfectly bland slogan
yeah.
for cornflakes.
Yeah. Happy breakfast, everyone, is Weetabix.
Okay.
That no one has ever said that.
No, Weetabix is Keeps Hunger Locked Up is Shreddies as well. Missed by Nanas. He's on Locked Up.
Oats So Simple is Quaker Oats.
I'm not too gutted about that. Hate the Quakers.
Don't tell them about the honey mummy.
Why do you hate
honey
Quakers?
waffles.
I was just, their policies are irrelevant in modern Britain. What's the honey money?
Honey waffles, apparently.
No, I don't think I missed any open goals there, really.
Just so you know, we haven't got an issue with Quakers as a religion.
No.
Oh, they still... I thought they were a political party. Oh, no, that's the Whigs. I've got Quakers and Whigs confused.
Quakers is a branch of Christianity.
Oh, no, absolutely having no go at them as well. if anything, probably, about not even the top 5 most offensive parties you could vote for in the next elections. I think we know what I'm talking about.
So,
Just a well done.
Just a well done for getting 6 out of 10 cereals, and then one more that I submitted myself.
I couldn't have done that.
Do you not think?
No.
I think I'd have got them.
Yeah, I think you'd have. And would you have got the cornflakes one? Is
No,
really...
of course. Cornflakes is that's the worst slogan of all time.
6 out
Well,
of 10.
there'll be Neil of Fortune next week. Do we know who's on?
No, not yet.
It could be any game. I mean, Neil's probably just set the game and then...
If you could give a few more people the cereal questions just to see how I do, against a sort of national average.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Queens of the Stone Age, no one knows, on XFM. I went past Stonehenge this week.
Lovely stuff.
Have you been?
Yeah, I was about 8.
There we go. Now, we are doing... that is Ivo Graham. We are doing... talk about sporting failures.
Oh, Queens of the Stone Age. I thought it was a completely apropos of nothing.
No, sorry. Sporting failures.
Right.
Do you want to hear a couple?
Yes, please.
We'll go with Graham Parrish. I played in a cricket team, bowled out for 3.
That's not bad. That's my second top score.
No, the team.
Oh, no. That's not good. That's not good at
all 3 runs were extras. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, no, it is.
But how bad can your cricket team be that they failed to score?
Yeah. Also, imagine if you were a spectator and you'd prepared a really big picnic for that match. You've barely bitten into your Calippo and it's all
Your
over.
cucumber sandwiches would be nowhere to be seen.
Oh, I'd love to know more about that match. That is so humiliating.
Yeah, Jamie Jones, second top scorer at our primary school team 1 year with 5 own goals.
Wow. What? Sorry, he was second top scorer. He scored 5 own goals.
Yeah.
I don't really even understand.
Well, he'd scored this. If you were to count own goals as goals, he would have been the second top scorer that season for his primary school.
But he wouldn't have been for his primary school. He would have been for everyone else's primary school. Oh, well, it wasn't his amount of own goals. So I thought you meant he'd scored all 5 own goals himself.
You understand, don't you, Neil?
Dreadful radio. Do you mean that he scored?
No, he scored 5 own goals.
Yeah.
Which would have, if they'd been goals, made him the second top scorer for his primary school.
Right. Okay. But
So he got the
that's a
ball-
big hypothetical leap.
Yeah.
They're quite literally opposite ends of the pitch.
Have you got...
Someone should tell Frank Sinclair. He's got some great own goals.
He
in
does.
the- in
There's a
the-
YouTube video of it. Have you got any other sporting failures?
My teens was one long sporting failure, and was I went to I lived in Australia for a bit when I was about 13, 14, where football stands were much lower. So I jumped from being sub for the Bees to being captain of the A's for Sydney Grammar School, and was even being talked about before I was taken back to England, where I'd then slipped to C's sub. But before taking back to England, I was talked about being a potential New South Wales.
Oh, potential Socceroo?
A potential Socceroo. I could have played for Brisbane Roar, but I never got the opportunity. However, we were the worst team by far in the sort of local league. And I was captain. My first game as captain, we were beaten 10-0 in a game that was called off 15 minutes early because a couple of the parents started to complain that it was just too upsetting.
Did someone throw in a towel?
No, just I remember my friend Chris Goth, his mum just went onto the pitch after the 10th goal and had a word with the referee. And much like what Marco Materazzi said to Zinedine Zidane, we'll never know what Mrs. Goth said to the referee, but it was enough to get the game called off pretty quickly.
Well, we've got more sporting failure coming up, but none of it with as much venom behind it as Ivo Graham's. This is XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Editors on XFM. I did a gig. Well, let's introduce who's here and then I'll tell you. We've still got producer Neil.
Good afternoon.
Still got Ivo Graham.
Hello.
And now, Charlie Baker.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. I liked how you started it like, I've done a gig.
I've
Like
done a
you were
gig.
really showing off.
So,
I've done my job.
I did a gig in Frome this week, and you know they have pictures of people up on the wall who've previously done the gig.
Oh, this is very exciting.
Bob Geldof and editors were two of the pictures, and I thought,
or?
this is a strange booking that I'm doing this venue. And it
My
proved so.
friend saw
No,
you
no,
walking along the street in Whitby the other week
Oh yeah,
and wanted to say hello and that he knew me and got a bit scared.
Bottled it.
bottled it.
Bottled it.
Oh,
She thought you looked in a bit of a mood.
I tell you when that would have been, when I was struggling to find a pub to see Chelsea v Liverpool. Man City v Liverpool.
In Whitby.
In Whitby. They sell a lot of jet in Whitby.
It's a lot of jet.
What's jet?
Jet is like the black, a black sort of stone.
Really?
Stone.
As in jet black?
jet.
As in jet black.
That's maybe that's what it is. Jet black.
Not as in
Why would you say Jet Black?
not as in albums by the band Jet.
Jet.
Still not.
Or the
song
the
by
Paul McCartney Wing.
That's their top
song.
two.
Or the
Jet.
Gladiator?
Real name for 2 points.
Diana.
Udall.
Diane Udall.
She is now a psychoanalyst. Am I correct?
Any
Correct.
song by Jet other than Are You Going to Be My Girl for another 2 points?
Oh.
Look what you've done.
Look what you've done.
Oh.
Really? Is that a
Yeah,
song
that
by
is
Jet, or are you just putting Ivo in his place? Right, let's get some order on this. Charlie,
Yes.
you are currently
Yeah.
for another 12
one night.
hours.
I'm a huge West End star.
You're currently. I'm glad you've come in to promote this.
in the massive hit show. It's open for
can't
one
sing.
More, two more shows.
Two more shows.
This afternoon and this evening.
Obviously, it's got great reviews.
Yeah.
It's clearly some kind of business model has failed.
It clearly is because yes.
How did you find out it was over?
This is how they do it. Okay, so everyone is called on stage.
Are you serious?
So you're getting full. You saw it. We got full standing ovation, cheers, whoops, everybody going mad, and then they bring in the curtain, and then they bring the safety curtain in.
It was after the show.
Stay on stage, please. So
No!
So in a minute, I'm going to ask Josh to describe to you how I'm dressed at this point. And they come on and they say, "Very bad news. We're giving you your notice." But when I'm hearing this bad news, Ivo, I'm dressed as a full-blown Victorian hunchback. So I'm trying to take this news like, okay, you know.
So was there
with a
still
big, like,
audience
warped-
coming out at this point?
It's straight away after the show.
Not with the audience still coming out of the
curtain
theatre.
down.
Oh, right.
It's the London Palladium, so you know it's enormous.
Yeah. But there's audience
Curtain
still
down,
in the
but
building.
Wow.
man, it's such a brilliant piece of work.
It's amazing.
Harry and Steve have created just something full of joy and happiness, and and it's gone tonight.
If we go back to how it started, tell me about the workshop.
When you do a new musical, about 2 years earlier, they'll do a workshop production in like a smaller venue. But this is, of course, I Can't Sing, the X Factor musical, and they want Simon Cowell to say yes, so they can put the X Factor all over it. So they have to do this in front of Simon Cowell. So we're in the small cabaret room at the Soho Theatre, and you try and make a joke list. Ivo, have a guess.
Sunita.
Was there.
Amazing.
Second in.
Oh, I'm so
second
happy
in
with
behind. And you think, but so we did this workshop for Sunita, Alexandra Burke.
Steve Brookstein? No, not
They
Steve.
fell out.
He'll be fat. He's not been particularly great on Twitter.
Well, Steve Brookstein, I was on a train a few years ago, and Steve Brookstein walked past and went into first class, so let's not have too much.
Was he checking tickets?
But let it go, Steve. It's a long time ago. Don't live your life defined by that one moment in your life.
No.
And at the end of the workshop, like, it was like, whoa, Simon
So where
Cowell.
did he sit? Did he sit front row centre?
At the back with his sandwiches.
What?
Oh, wow, he eats sandwiches.
He genuinely said,
time of day
I heard
is
him
this?
say on the way in, keep the car running, because if this is awful, I'll leave in 5 minutes.
Right.
No!
Yeah, I heard him say it on the way in.
And Soho downstairs, if you're at the back, you have to walk
you'd have
right
to
past
you'd
the
have to
stage.
run through it. Like if you want to go to the toilet during the show. You know? Yeah, so he left his Bentley running outside because he thought, I'm going to leave in 5 minutes.
Wow, what an experience. Wow.
Yeah.
We will come to what you are doing now.
Yeah.
But let's play a song. This is Steve Brookstein with his winner's
Jet.
song with Jet.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
New churches on XFM. Something that they're not building at the moment. Am I right?
Or brand new pair of shoes. Brand new pair of posh shoes.
You what? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's very good. Now, Charlie Baker,
Yeah.
Ivo Graham,
Hello.
producer Neil.
Hello.
Two subjects we're talking about today. I'll throw them to you first, Charlie, and then I'll just read out some listener interaction, as Neil would term it, in around the office.
Is it multi-platform, this show?
It is multi-platform.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those new shoes you were talking about. When you beat Widdicombe, because I was still thinking about churches because I hadn't got a different type of church.
Trying to think of another type of church.
Greatest sporting failure you've had? You must have had a sporting failure as a child.
I mean, I'm pretty sporty, as you
are.
know. So, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, here's a good one. I won my school cross country
oh, yeah?
because I used to dance. I've danced all my life.
Not the whole way down the track.
No, so I was super fit
right,
without even trying. Super
Yeah.
fit because I was dancing all the time. So I used to win cross countries and stuff at school. Got picked to represent the region, Teambridge.
Southwest?
Teambridge.
Oh, Teambridge.
In the county trials.
Oh!
Right. Here we go. Brilliant. I'm all over this. Super fit, everything.
Yeah.
Plum last.
When
Plum
did you
last.
At what point did you realise you're out of your depth?
Oh man! Turned up. Everyone's in like proper kit. I was
What, you're in your dancing outfit in a leotard?
No, I was in rugby boots because it was muddy. No, I'll run in my rugby boots because then I'll get good grip.
Amazing.
Plum last.
Oh.
Shame. My mum, you know, she was really nice about it, but
The other one, Charlie.
Yeah.
Ways you made money as a child. Did you? Because you're a performer.
yeah.
Because I was saying to Neil
Oh,
this
yes.
earlier. No, but you're...
Right.
Only for 12 more hours.
Did you do concerts for your parents and then charge them to get in?
Oh, I did. I'm that.
Yeah, 'cause I did that.
I am that child.
Yeah.
I am.
Me and my brother
nan saying, you know,
Sing along to Brothers in Arms.
yeah.
And then charge 10p to get in.
And to Brothers in Arms, the whole album or just the song?
Well, we got bored quite soon.
Yeah.
So probably just whatever the opening track is. No, that's track 3, I think. Track 1 is like one
That's
no
got
one
that
would know.
really long intro as well.
Yeah,
which you
yeah.
have to sort of...
Look at them. Hawaiian noises. I'd like to have seen you do that bit, Josh. Them guys ain't dumb.
With that really futuristic video for the time. Once again lost on Ivo.
Yeah,
No, I've got no
mate, you
idea
should
what
see it.
that's
It'd be like watching the Blitz for you.
So, shall we go through some now?
Yeah.
Carla Louise. I used to spell long words for friends and family for money. I made a fiver once.
What was
What
the
a
word?
word!
What was the word?
It was that Welsh town.
Yeah. What would you spell for a fiver?
I'm not very good at spelling.
Pretentious. I'm referring to her and one of the words.
Oh, yes.
very good.
What is a difficult word to spell?
Anti-establishmentarianism is the classic, isn't it? That people
Yeah, but
always...
that's quite easy to spell, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you just spell it like you know?
Tomorrow. It's quite a difficult one.
No, it isn't.
Spell tomorrow, Ivo.
It's one name, 2 R's.
No, not now.
Oh!
When you wake up Sunday.
12 more hours of this at the London Palladium.
Live.
JJP, there's a good name for someone. I got people to pay to guess how many sheets of toilet paper were on a roll. What?
It's quite boring, isn't it?
What? That isn't any sort of quiz, is it?
Well, taking the guesses would be quite fun, but then actually having to pull apart the toilet roll would
I'm
be...
assuming it says on the packet how many...
No, because it always says approx.
No approxes. I want the exact amount.
I want the exact number.
It's like a version of the sweets in the jar.
Yeah.
But
But you get this. But if you win that, you. Sorry, I've been distracted.
No, if you win sweets in the jar,
you win all the sweets. Whereas
But
winning
imagine
one
if-
roll of toilet roll, which has been pulled apart. into
imagine
every
though,
individual...
if you really needed the toilet roll, and so you said, "Can I use that toilet roll?" They said, "Guess how many there are on it, and you can have it." The panic in your eyes.
You can have it within 5. Within 5.
Josh Widdicombe.
XFM.
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, or to save time, BRMC. But I mean, wasted time doing that. Producer Neil,
Hi.
Ivo Graham,
Hello.
Charlie Baker,
Hello there.
and me, Josh Widdicombe, still here. Now, Neil Aid, that has been the talk of the nation recently, as we've appealed for you to send in your swaps to help Neil, because he's got a small child, he can't afford to complete the sticker album himself. Or he can, but he just doesn't feel he can justify it.
I'd like to blow this wide open. As someone who's just seen Neil's album, who listens to the podcast every week, feeling sorry for Neil at the having a child thing, he's overtaken me. And this is stop sending your stickers into Neil, because he's doing just fine, thank you very much. And he's got so many swaps that he should be able to trade up.
Your mic's been turned off.
Oh,
You've been silenced. You've been silenced.
Wow.
So,
It's like
not that I don't
Soviet
listen to the
Russia.
show, so what is... Can you
Neil
explain
has-
Neil Aid to me.
Explain it, Neil.
So
Can we put some sad music on?
Yeah, here we go. It's the Panini Brazil 2014
Yeah.
World Cup, and Josh.
It's not the World Cup isn't sponsored by Panini.
No, that's the sticker album. And Josh was very keen for me to take part, but as he said, I can't justify spending.
£70 when
It's
you
a big spend.
Yeah.
I keep going to the shop and going, getting some milk, coming back with 10 packs.
That's a fiver straight away.
Yes.
Do you know when they cancelled I Can't Sing?
Yeah.
Your local newsagent stopped stocking panini. It was we've
book-
cancelled that order of
That
paninis.
book was looking expensive.
and that's the bit they give away for free.
Yeah, so I've just been appealing to listeners that are doing it to send in their swaps and their excess stickers.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all right, you know.
Yeah.
Better than all right, mate.
All right, better than all right.
Bloody well.
Ivo seems livid about this.
But we want him to complete it. That's what we're doing. He's now at the hard
But it's
section.
the first week of May. You've got 6 weeks still to do it. You don't want to...
No, he's got to do it. He's doing well, and also now he's got swaps, so he can send them back.
Yeah.
If you send in, you'll get 10 stickers back.
Let's not make promises.
How are you getting on
5.
with the stadiums?
I mean,
No, stadiums are all right, but what...
Stadia.
What a lot of people have tweeted us this week is
Yeah,
the
we keep
story
getting stories now.
Okay.
There was a great feature on The Guardian,
inside
which we
the
love.
Panini
I've
factory.
read all of the
The
stories.
photo feature on how they make the stickers.
Oh.
That was
My
exciting.
word.
I
You
like
could have
that-
died and gone to
Now,
heaven.
yeah, because Bob Mortimer was on Twitter this week saying, who knows what the rare ones are? And someone tweeted him, I've been to the factory, they genuinely print the same amount of every single sticker.
I agree, but I do question, this is my theory, whether they do that, but I would wonder whether they regionally
Yes, or by country.
or by country.
Do you buy...
Now I'm on tour, I'm going to Harrogate, so I'm not going to lie to you, I'm going to buy some stickers in the hope that...
do you buy them from the... You don't buy them from the... Because I buy mine from more or less the same shop.
No.
And I think that's why I've got 5 Jerry Palacios.
He works there.
He works there.
But one of the stories this week was a school teacher in Colombia who
Yes.
has been accused of allegedly
Nicking.
stealing stickers from students.
I love this.
So students were getting them out in class, and he was confiscating them.
My favourite bit of the article is where it said he pasted them in, which shows what a different life it is in Colombia.
They have to have your own glue.
Their own glue.
Does it come with panini glue? Do you think?
The Metro article says lawyers have been notified and are looking into the incident.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of crime in Colombia the rest of the time. There's not a lot of things being dealt in Colombia.
I tell you what, now Colombian football has got combined with crime. I'm never going to look at it the same again.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.
White Lies on XFM. Producer Neil,
Good afternoon.
Charlie Baker,
Good afternoon.
Ivo Graham.
Lovely to be here. Another
Now-
white lie on XFM there.
Oh, get out.
It's quite pun-based, isn't it?
It is. It's been quite a punny show. But there we go. Now, we are talking about your worst sporting failure. Rachel, I was a stand-in at my... this is Josh Widdicombe, by the way.
Good afternoon.
Forgot to say that. Hello. I was a stand-in at my primary school swimming gala freestyle race. You can do whatever stroke you want.
And rap while you're doing it.
Which my teacher told me meant I could do any stroke. Open brackets, untrue, close brackets. Came last and had to be pulled out of the pool by an 8-year-old girl. I mean, why is it, the untrue is, that kind of opens questions that she did some kind of illegal stroke.
Freestyle isn't freestyle front crawl. Is that not? Is it
it
freestyle
is
that you can do
technical
anything?
front
But freestyle.
I'm a very weak swimmer.
You are, of course, going to do the fastest stroke, which is front crawl, unless you're going, it's freestyle, so I'm going to do the slower stroke.
I'm going to do butterfly. I'm that good at butterfly. I'm going to do backstroke.
We're ignoring the main issue here, which is the 8-year-old lifeguard. If ever there was a more damning indictment of broken Britain.
One more?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? Ed Griffiths. I went for a run with my phone in my pocket, did a sprint session, and the phone swung square into my testicles, and I was winded. Wow. I don't know if you could get winded by a phone in the old...
Let's try it.
It is back.
Open up your legs, Ivo. I'll get my iPhone.
Winded by a phone in the ghoulies.
But you shouldn't take your phone running, should you?
No, and I mean phones are. I don't want to sound like Steve. I'm in the employ of Steve Jobs, but phones are so light these days that you.
They normally
get an
armband. People have to take their phones.
He doesn't say when it was or if it was a mobile. It might have been back in the day. It might have been a landline.
On a wire. Didn't get very far.
But if there was any calls...
It was an Alan Sugar email phone.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
And now, as a thank you for coming in, Charlie Baker, Ivo Graham, you get to plug... whatever you'd like. First, producer Neil, would you like to plug anything?
Neil Aid.
Yeah.
Send me your stickers, please. Also, the podcast this week might be late because I've got I've got Monday off.
I always hate that. I usually clock in about 5 p.m. on a Monday. All right. It's not that.
I'll try and do it Monday evening.
Thanks, Neil.
All right.
Charlie.
I'm at the Lowry in Salford.
You don't just do I Can't Sing. You did Baker's Dozen, which was the critically acclaimed Edinburgh show.
The hit mix.
It was a brilliant show.
Of stand-up and 13 biggest selling UK singles from the first 13 years of this millennium.
And it's superb.
Well, you liked it, didn't you?
I loved it. Everyone loved it in Edinburgh.
It was good. We sold out Edinburgh and we got good reviews and we're on a little tour with it. And
go and see it.
Come and see it. The Lowry, Salford, Sunday night. And Farnham and Didcot.
What a night that's going to be.
It's a long way.
Are you doing a live link-up like that
that's how it is.
final gig by Monty Python? Ivo.
I'm quite short on Algerians and Spaniards, so send them in. Otherwise, I'm just, I guess, already Edinburgh. If I don't get another chance to come in, please come to Edinburgh or follow me on Twitter. Ivo Graham. I'll mention.
Wait. When is what is your Edinburgh show called?
It's called Bow Ties and Johnnies. What's wrong with that?
Oh,
it's too late to change it, so please.
What was your original title that I liked?
It was called Ivo Graham, Privately Educated, Sexually Active. It was deemed that was funny for those that know me, but for the overwhelming majority of the population who do not a joke too far.
Still not gone with Ivo, therefore I am.
Nope, that's penciled in for 2019.
Eton Mess.
Nope.
Oh, that's the best one.
That's the best one.
Yeah, if you know that I went to Eton.
Well, Ivo's brilliant. Ivo's brilliant, isn't he? Go and see Ivo.
Excellent. Go and see it.
Fantastic.
Excellent show last year. Lot of pressure, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, second show's pretty tough, mate. So, you know.
No, I'm going to sing. I'm just going to sing some songs.
Yeah, do that.
What time's it on?
It's at 8:15. That doesn't matter. 8:15 Pheasants Court. But crucially, if you follow me on Twitter, then I can mention London work in progresses of it, which I really need people to come to.
At Ivo Graham.
At Ivo Graham.
At Baker's Tweet.
At Baker's Tweet. There we go. I should plug that I'm hosting the London Breakfast Show all week on XFM.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Taxi, 4:30 in the morning.
Who does it at the moment?
John Holmes, but he's having a week off. And so Neil won't be there.
No.
Neil. I feel like I'm... You know when, like, Paul Rodgers fronted Queen? That's what I feel like I'm doing for a week. So listen to that, if you can.
I will.
Or the Oasis tracks that Liam wrote.
Songbird.
Have they got like
Little James.
a proper grown-up producer for you on that one?
They have, yeah, Dave.
They've got a team.
They've got a team. So I'll feel well looked after. So listen to that. Also, on Wednesday, I'm in Southend. I have no idea if there's tickets still available, but I'm sure there's a way to find out.
Where in Southend?
Palace Cliffs
Pavilion. There's two big theatres
There's two big theatres in Southend.
Double up.
Southend Pavilion Arts Centre.
Oh.
It is neither of the big theatres. So come to see that. And next Friday at the O2, the Great Ormond Street Gala. Please come to that for Channel 4. For Great Ormond Street, but it's the Channel 4 Gala for Great Ormond Street.
He's shown where his loyalties lie.
He knows
The channel, not the cause.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.